Well, boys, it's time to piss off the Chibson owners. A couple things before we get started. A, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you own these things or buy these things. Innately, you're not a bad person. You have the potential to be, but I'm not saying that you do or you are because you own these. Two, I'm not telling you how to spend your money. If you earn your money legitimately, which that statement in the context of this video is dripping with irony, spend your money, buy a wall of them. I don't care. Just be careful selling them. If you're going to sell them, just sell them appropriately, please. And I'll talk about that in just a second. I want to preface this video with this. Okay. So this is a legitimate Gibson. This is my Gibson SG Standard 61. Fantastic guitar as you would expect. But because I'm an Epiphone fanboy at heart, I also have its equivalent. This is the Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom 1961 Les Paul SG. That one's a bit more of a mouthful to say, but this guitar compared to that guitar, I mean, they're like on the same playing field. I mean, if this had a nitro finish or even like a gloss finish, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference in a blind test playing them. Definitely in sound you can't, but they're both great guitars. The only difference is this body's a little bit thicker and it's got the satin finish on it, but I digress. So point number one that I want to make on the whole Chibson debate here is what I said before, where you have the potential to be a bad person. You have the potential if you buy these things to resell them. If you buy these things to resell them as legitimate Gibsons, you're a fuckface, asshole, shitty person. You're a bad person because you're taking advantage of people, you're ripping people off, and you're flooding the market with these things when they don't need to be. You're a bad person. Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Let Go, Macari, all of those apps like that, flooded with these things. You have to be so careful when you go to, if you were looking for a Gibson to go buy these things, you have to be careful when you're going to look for like a Fender or even like a PRS, all these bigger brand names that people will rip off. Even some Epiphones. Yes, they do make fake Epiphones. Why? The best argument I've ever heard, it's easier to pass off a fake $1 bill than a fake $100 bill. Why? Because people aren't looking for those. They do make fake Epiphones. There's a Facebook page called Epiphone, I think. Just if you're buying these fakes to resell them, fuck you. You're a bad person. Number two is the quality debate. People will buy these things and swear up and down that they're better than a US Gibson. And I kind of laugh at that for a couple of reasons. A, it's probably not true. They're probably not even the same quality as an Epiphone, which again, I say that comparing the Epiphones now, because the Epiphones now are so close to the Gibsons, it's unreal. It's crazy. And back in the day, these fakes were bad. They were bad. They're probably better now. I'm not saying that you need, I'm not trying to encourage you to go buy one, but I'm just saying. But the quality debate always makes me laugh because people will say that, but then they'll also be the same people to snark at an Epiphone for saying like, oh, it says Epiphone. It's bad. It can't, it's made in China. It's it can't be that good. But it's like, where did you get your fake Gibson from? You got it on one of those websites where it comes from China, right? Whatever era you can think of that Epiphone made their worst guitars, these Chibsons are probably comparable to that. They're very low quality Epiphones. Let's put it that way. Because a lot of these people that make these are probably ex-Epiphone employees. I mean, that's probably the truth. Or it's people that don't have any building experience and they just needed a job. So if you buy one of these things and you're trying to fool yourself into saying that it's better than a Gibson or even better than an Epiphone, I'm just telling you, just buy the Epiphone. Stop worrying about the name on the headstock, which brings me nicely into my third and final point here. The real reason that people buy these damn things. I'm going to grab my legitimate Gibson here. This is the reason why you want a Chibson or any fake guitar, Fender, PRS, whatever, but we're talking about Gibson. It's this right here. It's the headstock. Now, Epiphone is making their guitars with the open book headstock. A lot of people are happy about that, but there are still some people that want the name on there. That is what people want right there. And that is the problem. People are just so into stroking their own ego that they will not be caught dead with anything that doesn't say Gibson on it, even if it resorts to putting their own morals aside, their own beliefs aside, to go and buy one of these things because maybe they can't afford a Gibson, which... Future Jonathan here, as I'm editing the video and everything, it made me think of another point that I'm going to add in here somewhere. I think that a lot of people buy these Gibson knockoffs for the same reason that like women buy knockoff purses, right? Think about it that way. They want to be perceived as they have the highest quality, or for looks, and they want other people to perceive them a certain way. That's a pretty good point that I thought I should add to the video as like a comparison. That's okay if you can't afford them. I really can't afford them. The only reason I have that one is because it was a steal of a deal. I did end up having to trade some guitars to get it. It's not like I just was, oh, I'll just take that Gibson. It wasn't like that. I mean, it was really a decision for me to buy that. So I'm in the same boat as a lot of you are. But if you are honestly buying these things to stroke your own ego because you want people to perceive you as wealthy or a good guitar player, or like what you're talking about, you're fooling yourself. You're not really fooling guitar players. I mean, you may fool like people in the crowd, but I'm telling you that people in crowds at shows are like people that don't play guitar. They don't care. They do not care. The only people in this world that care about your guitar are you and maybe other guitar players that are watching a video about like, oh, do I want to buy this one or whatever. But the only person that cares about the guitar more is you. So to sum it all up, my problem with these fake guitars is they're just more of a hassle than what they need to be. They just shouldn't exist. And I know why they exist. Like I said, people can make a quick buck on them. It's immoral to do that. But hey, to each his own. If you're doing that, that's on you. I don't like it. I've never played them. I won't play one. And I know people are like, well, just give it a try. No, it's not because I'm scared. I'm like, oh, dude, they really do feel that great. I don't want any part of that. And that's okay. Just like it's okay if you want a part of it. It just is what it is. But I have an opinion on it like everybody else does. I would rather just get the real thing. Or, an Epiphone. That's just me. Or it's like Fender and Squire. If I can't afford a Fender, I'll get a Squire. They play fine. Right? Play fine. PRS. If I can't afford a custom shop or a private stock, whatever they're called, get an SE. Get it from the brand. Support the brand. I know people have their qualms about Gibson and all that kind of stuff and their business practices and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, if you want a quality instrument, get it from the companies that have already established the fact that they make quality stuff. I know some people say, oh, you're putting quality and Gibson together. Yeah, I am, because I have had a lot more positive experience with both Gibson and Epiphone than I have negative. You're going to have negative wherever you go. But that's my point. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Take that and kind of let it marinate in your brain a little bit. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about it. I'm genuinely curious about what people have to say about the Chibson debate. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and go do something else, I guess. So I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that kind of good stuff, and check links in the description. See you guys next time.